Hello friends, I Kruti Jai Pancholi, Assistant Professor in LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in Department of Electronics and Communication. This video is about subject Microwave Engineering, Unit number 3, Analysis of Microwave Transmission Lines and Waveguides. In this video, you will learn about transmission line equation. What is a transmission line? Transmission line is the medium of transferring the power from generating station to the load station. Conventional two-conductor transmission lines are commonly used for transmitting microwave energy. Transmission lines are of many types: open wire transmission line, coaxial transmission line, optical fiber transmission line, waveguides, and microwave transmission, microstrip transmission line. This is the model of a transmission line, which consists of the one generating end and other is the receiving end. The generating end will send the power through the transmission line and it reaches to the receiving end. Here, the transmission line include two parallel wire, coaxial cable, microstrip line, optical fiber, and the waveguide. While you learn about the low frequency circuits, so in that the low frequency circuits, suppose this is my generating end and it is my load end. We are going to transmit the signal that is of 230 volt 50 Hz. It is the low frequency wave. While you talk about the higher frequency, suppose the 5 voltage and the frequency it is in the gigahertz. So whenever I am going to transmit the low frequency signal from this AA dash to the point BB dash, what will happen that we need to discuss. To find out this, the T is equal to 1 by F. F is the 50 Hz. So T is equal to 0.02 second. So it is the sinusoidal wave for the time 0.02 second. So there is a slow change in the wave while the frequency is less. So if it is a slow change, so whenever the sinusoidal wave pass it from point AA dash to BB dash, there is no more change in the voltage to cross this particular L line. So there is no change in the voltage. So the potential difference is nearly equal to 0. But while I talk about the higher frequency and it want to reach from the point AA dash to BB dash, this T is equal to 1 upon F. So it is nearly 10 raised to minus 9 second. So this is again the very fast change in the wave while it travel from this. So there is a fast change we observe while the frequency is higher. So if you are finding the voltage at the AA dash will not remain same at the BB dash. So there is a voltage at the point AA dash that is not same at the BB dash. So the potential difference is not 0 in this case. So low frequency, slow change. So there is no voltage change over here, and on this line the voltage value is the same. So potential difference is 0. So at the low frequency we could not see the transit time effect. But while it is about the high frequency, we will see the transit time effect. So what is the transit time effect? This is the diagram. Here this particular signal want to travel from this point AA dash to the point BB dash. The length is L. So the length of the wire is L. At this point initially the voltage is Vp. Okay, so it want to travel to distance L. So it will take some time to travel from AA dash to BB dash. So my time taken to travel is equal to length divided by the velocity. So at the point A, the voltage is Vp initially. Now while it travels from this point to this point, it will take the time. So time is equal to length of the wire divided by velocity with which voltage travel. So now at this point, voltage is not Vp, but at the same time, the voltage at AA dash, that is not Vp, but it is Vq. So Vp and Vq are not same. So we have some potential difference. So the time taken to travel for this particular length L is referred to as a transit time. So transit time, that is AA dash to BB dash, whatever the time is required. We will see this transit time effect only in case of high frequency signal. Question is about how to neglect transit time. So the solution is to neglect transit time is by making the potential difference between the 2 points, that is 0. But ideally it can be 0. Practically 0 potential difference is not possible. So we are telling that it should be negligibly small. So that is why the transit time T is equal, the capital T, that is the time period of a signal, T should be much more greater than TR. What is this TR? TR is the transit time. So we are substituting this transit time value is equal to L upon V. So this T, that is much more greater than L upon V. L is the length of wire, V is the velocity at which it will travel. T is what? It is 1 upon F. 1 upon F should be much more greater than L by V. We will take this V this side. So V upon F much more greater than L. What is V by F? V by F is lambda. Lambda is much more greater than L. So the condition for neglecting the transit time is wavelength should be much greater than the length. So by considering this condition, we can neglect the transit time effect in case of high frequency wave or in case of the microwave. Now about what are the primary constant of a transmission line. For that I am considering that it is the parallel wire representation of the wire. Now these wires are there. I am dividing that wires into the small segment. I am representing this small segment as a delta Z. This delta Z should be tends to 0, mean it is very small length. Now we need to identify that which are the primary constant will be available in this small segment. So by magnifying this delta Z portion, we can see that this is the wire. The wire should have always the resistance. So there is a resistance is appear in the line. There is always some leakage is there. So there is a what? So there is a wire. So the resistance, inductance is available. There are the two parallel wire. So there is it will act as a parallel plate capacitor. So there is a capacitor is present in between, and there is some charge leakage between the two lines. So that is why the conductance is present. So in this line, these components you are not placing in the transmission line circuitry, but in this parallel wire, these four components are present, in the delta Z part. So this way, this delta Z portion again having the four component. These delta Z consists of this constant, this delta Z. So this way, the each section is represented by the equivalent circuit. So this is the equivalent circuit of any transmission line, which consists of resistor, inductor, conductance and the capacitor, and this is the delta Z portion. Now about what is the unit of this particular component. So it is the resistance, okay, that is the R value, R for resistance, and these resistance that is for segment delta Z. So it is R delta. This is the inductance L for delta Z. This is the G, conductance for delta Z. This is the capacitance C for this delta Z distance. So the unit of the transmission line, that is the unit for the L, it is Henry per meter, because we have divided them into the segment. Resistance, that is ohm per meter. This is capacitance, unit is Faraday per meter. Conductance is what? That is the inverse of ohm, that is the mho per meter. So these are the primary constant of the transmission line. So till now we have learned about the transit time effect and the primary constant of any transmission line. Now about the solution for the transmission line equation, it is again important question for the GTU exams, okay, that is solve the equation of transmission line. So you will draw the one diagram for the transmission line. Now you have idea about that why I am drawing all this thing, because the two parallel wire having the resistance, inductance, it will act as a parallel plate capacitor. So there is a capacitor, there is a charge leakage, so there is a conductance. Now these are the some rules that I write over here. That is, suppose e raised to j theta, then a, okay, e raised to j theta means cos theta plus j sin theta. Cos theta is what? It's a real part of this equation. Sin theta, that's the imaginary portion. Then Ez, okay, in the polar form, how can you write? Modulus of Ez, e raised to j theta z. E raised to j theta, that is equal to 1. C is equal to a plus jb. If you want to find out the angle, theta is equal to tan b upon a, and magnitude is square root of a square. These are the only the few rules that I described over here. Similarly, I can apply the KVL for the loop as well as the KCL for the particular node. Okay, so when you find out the voltage across the inductor, it is L into di by dt. The current across the capacitor is C dv by dt. So these are the general rules that I described for any transmission line. So we will take the transmission line, okay, and we will find out the KVL and the KCL for finding out the solution of this circuit. So it consists of all the lumped element, okay, and this is nothing but it's a lumped element model for the transmission line, okay. So I am applying for this figure and for this figure, I am applying the KVL for this particular loop, okay, and we know that the summation of the voltage, that is equal to 0. So it is sigma is equal to n equal to 1 to n, Vn is equal to 0. So we know that we can write it is according to the polarity -2 plus we are mentioning positive. So it is the V1 minus V2 minus V3 minus V4 is equal to 0. Positive to negative, so we are writing that negative. Negative to positive, always the positive polarity. Okay, and similarly you are applying the KCL at the node B and the summation of the current, okay, that is equal to 0. So it is sigma n equal to 1 to n. In is equal to I1 minus I2 minus I3 minus I4 equal to 0. Now we are writing the equation for this. It is over here, it is the V bracket Z comma T. Okay, T is the particular time and Z is the particular segment. So VZT minus here the resistance across the voltage across the resistance is R delta Zi of ZT, okay, because you know this is the voltage equation. V is equal to IR, okay, and the particular length, that is the delta Z. So R delta Z and IZT. Similarly, it is the inductor, okay. For that the V value we can write it is the L delta Z delta I ZT by delta T, okay, and minus, okay, this value V4, okay. So voltage across this particular, it's Vz plus delta Z comma T is equal to 0. Similarly, here we are writing the equation for the I1, I2, I3 and I4. It is the over here the current is flowing through this particular loop IZT, okay, IZT, then the value, okay, that is the minus J delta Z V of Z plus delta Z T minus this C delta Z delta V of Z plus delta Z comma T by delta T and minus IZ plus delta Z comma T is equal to 0. Now rewriting this equation, VZT minus R delta Z I of Z comma T minus L delta Z delta I Z comma T by delta T minus V Z plus delta Z comma T equal to 0. Rearranging this and dividing by this delta Z, it is V of Z plus delta Z T, okay. If you will take this minus to this side, then it is minus V of ZT divided by delta Z is equal to minus Ri Z comma T minus L delta I Z comma T by delta T. So again rearranging this equation and dividing it by delta Z, we are getting these two equations. Now applying the limit delta Z tends to 0. So delta Z tends to 0 and we are writing this is nothing but it is the del V Z by T del Z equal to minus Ri Z comma T minus L del I Z comma T by delta T. Again applying the delta Z tends to 0, we are getting this equation. So this equation, okay, you can write it, that is it is the del V Z by del Z is equal to minus R plus j omega L I Z. So it is the first order differential equation. Okay, so del by del T, for it is the j omega, del by del Z to the del by del Z. So it is the del V by del Vz by del Z is equal to minus R plus j omega L Iz, and here del Iz by del Z is equal to minus G plus j omega C Vz. Now we are putting this di by dz value over here and we are putting this dv by dz value over here. So we are again differentiating it with respect to z, that is the d square vz upon dz square is equal to minus r plus j omega L di by dz. By putting the di by dz value, we are getting this equation over here. Again by putting the dv by dz value over here, we are getting this second order differential equation. Now what is this r plus j omega L into g plus j omega c? It is the propagation constant. So it is defined as the gamma is equal to square root of r plus j omega L in bracket g plus j omega c. So it is d square vz upon dz square minus gamma square vz is equal to 0 and d square iz upon dz square minus gamma square iz is equal to 0. So these are the second order differential equation for the transmission line. So similarly, this Vz is what? So it consists of the two portion, that is the incident wave and the reflected wave. So Vz is a V0 plus into e raised to minus gamma z plus V0 minus e raised to plus gamma z, and Iz is equal to I0 plus e raised to minus gamma z plus I0 minus e raised to plus gamma z. So e raised to plus gamma z is the wave propagation in the minus z direction, and e raised to minus gamma z is wave propagation in the positive direction. So this is just the representation of showing V0 plus and V0 minus. So V0 plus, that is the incident wave towards the load, and reflected wave which is reflected from the load to the generating end. So we have these two equations, and we can find it out the propagation constant, that is gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. So the real part, that is the alpha, that is the attenuation constant, and the imaginary part of this is the phase constant. Unit of alpha is the Nepers per meter, and beta is the phase constant radians per meter. So we can write calling the equation, that is dvz by dz is equal to minus r plus j omega l into iz, and we can put the iz value, it is I0 plus e raised to minus gamma z plus I0 minus e raised to plus gamma z. So this is the equation for the Iz, and after taking the I0 plus, that is the real part, we have this value, imaginary part we have this value. So we can find out the impedance value, that is impedance is V upon I. So V0 plus upon I0 plus gives us the value of the impedance. Similarly, V minus V0 minus upon I0 minus, okay, that again gives us the impedance about this Z0. So Z0 is the square root of R plus j omega L G plus j omega C. So we will solve the examples in the next video regarding how to find the characteristics impedance. Phase velocity is the omega upon beta. Omega is 2 pi f upon beta, and lambda is equal to 2 pi upon beta. So this way we can find out the analysis of the transmission line equation. In the next video we will solve the examples related to this. Thank you very much everyone.